Welcome to this edition of Head to Head. I'm your host, Cam McKinney, and this is the 324th episode of the podcast where I want to talk about sitting young quarterbacks. Is it a good idea to do in the NFL? The New England Patriots drafted quarterback Drake Maye with the third overall pick in the NFL draft. As of right now, the consensus feeling is that the young quarterback will not start the season as the starter. And to say people have mixed feelings about this is a massive understatement. The only time fans are okay with a young quarterback sitting is when the guy who is starting is himself a great quarterback. Aaron Rodgers sitting behind Brett Favre, Jordan Love sitting behind Rodgers. When it becomes a problem is if the placeholder is not a top-tier quarterback. Right now, the Patriots starter is likely going to be Jacoby Brissett, who has started but is mainly a career backup. He's average at best, but the problem is Patriots fans are used to the guy playing the quarterback position being the unquestioned best player on the team, and that didn't happen with Mac Jones, and they want that to be Drake Maye. If we go back a ways, Eli Manning did sit for a portion of his rookie season behind Kurt Warner, a player though who had won an MVP and a Super Bowl, and Phillip Rivers sat for 2 seasons behind Drew Brees, who was good but was not yet the Drew Brees who won a Super Bowl with the Saints. But those situations are about those teams wanting to win games now. It's hard to look at the Patriots and say they think starting Jacoby Brissett is going to help them get 7 to 8 wins this year. The only way the Patriots would ever surprise anyone this season if Drake Maye came out of the gate and established himself as a great quarterback. Now, that's rare in the NFL for a rookie to do, but it's what fans want to see is possible. I mean, it's the only thing giving Patriots fans hope for the future. Jacoby Brissett is a figure in the Patriots' past. I mean, he was a decent backup for them. He played a little bit when Tom Brady was suspended, but he's not somebody they want to see play the game of football. He's not that dissimilar from Brian Hoyer. Like, he's an okay quarterback. I can watch him play, but I mean, enough's enough. And maybe that really is the problem here. Maybe if the Patriots had a really good placeholder, fans would be more accepting of Drake Maye sitting out at least a portion of his rookie season. Like, if the Patriots had gotten Russell Wilson, I at least would be interested to see what that team would look like. What I don't care for is this idea that Drake Maye shouldn't play football right now because of the lack of talent around him with the New England Patriots. If you're that worried about the offensive line, what are we doing here? I think the expectations for a modern quarterback is to elevate the entire team around him. Somebody like Joe Burrow gets drafted and brings the sorry Cincinnati Bengals to a Super Bowl appearance. That's what we're expecting here. Yes, he did it in year 2, but he played right away in year 1. Like, he goes through the tough times so that he can help the team get to the bright spots. I think in a weird way, sitting Drake Maye almost puts even more expectations on the young quarterback if the team continues to lose, because then when he finally does play, it's almost like you saying, oh, we're ready to win football games now, and if that doesn't happen, then all eyes go on Drake Maye, and that's not going to be very fair. Already, the expectations for rookie quarterbacks are at an all-time high. Just last season, C.J. Stroud came in and took the Texans to the playoffs. And that's what's weird about how we view quarterbacks. On one hand, we don't want to play a young quarterback on a team with no talent. But on the other hand, you want him to be the absolute savior of the franchise. My view is the Patriots have absolutely nothing to lose with playing Drake Maye. Let him learn on the fly. That's what some of the greats did. Peyton Manning threw a boatload of interceptions as a young quarterback. It didn't hurt his career whatsoever. One of the knocks I keep hearing about Drake Maye is that he didn't play a lot of college football. Well, guess what? Having him sit on the bench and watch the NFL isn't going to get him experience. It seems like this is somebody who needs to be on the field as much as humanly possible. That's how he's going to grow. That's how he's going to develop. I just personally don't understand why you would sit a young quarterback for somebody who is an average NFL quarterback in Jacoby Brissett. Remember when the Dolphins tried to do it with Ryan Fitzpatrick? And Fitzpatrick is even better than Jacoby Brissett. I think teams and fans want to see the future. That's what they want. And right now, Drake Maye represents the future for New England Patriots fans. They want to rid themselves of what happened with Mac Jones, and they want a new day, and that's not going to happen until Drake Maye develops and becomes a franchise quarterback. And this is when the whole thing really gets silly to me, when you start to have conversations of, oh, when is he going to start? Is he going to start by Thanksgiving? Can he play against a team like the San Francisco 49ers? That's when this becomes complete and utter nonsense. We just want to see the guy play football. This whole thing is going to look stupid if he starts by week 3. I mean, what are we doing here? I know they love to play this game of, well, that's when he earned the job. No, you just want to sit him for sitting him's sakes, and I just don't understand why. The only logical reason I could come up with is the Patriots don't want Jerod Mayo's first game and Drake Maye's first game to be the same first game, because look, it is a rookie head coach and it's a rookie quarterback, and there's going to be a lot of mistakes, and Patriots fans are wondering if Jerod Mayo is going to be as good as the last head coach, and now people are wondering, is Drake Maye going to be good as Tom Brady? I mean, that's how this goes when it comes to Patriots fans. They have huge expectations when it comes to these two positions, more so than other football franchises. I mean, the entire success of the New England Patriots is about one head coach and one quarterback. So for these guys to try to replace those guys, it's going to be a tough hill to climb, but you got to give them a chance. I mean, let Drake Maye play right away is what I would do. I also just get the sense that they want to do everything and anything different than what they did with Mac Jones. Like, Mac Jones earned the job over Cam Newton. That was a great story. Then he had a great rookie season. Maybe the Patriots want to do things differently so that they can have Drake Maye have more long-term success than Mac Jones did. I mean, Mac Jones really had one good season with the New England Patriots, and then the other 2 years were really bad. I think what they want to do is to pair Drake Maye with an elite wide receiver. Like, I really do think they want to undo that wrong they did with Mac Jones and do the opposite with Drake Maye. I mean, all that talk around trying to get Brandon Ayuk from the San Francisco 49ers, and then this past offseason, they were one of the higher bidders towards Calvin Ridley. I mean, that would have been a really nice pickup for a young quarterback. I felt like if they had gotten one of those two players, Drake Maye would probably already have the starting position, because those two receivers would want to play with the future of the organization, not Jacoby Brissett. So maybe you don't want to play Drake Maye when your best wide receiver is Kendrick Bourne, but you still have Ramondre Stevenson, who is a really good running back, and you also have Hunter Henry, who is a really good security blanket for a young quarterback. I mean, he was the one player who did really well with Mac Jones, in my opinion. The Patriots have gone from one of those teams that we all did everything right. I mean, everything they did, we were like, yes, this was the right decision because they are the New England Patriots. And now they're no longer getting that benefit of the doubt. So when they do something that people think are wrong, we are really loud in voicing our frustration, because the last few years have been rough. We all know about the draft picks. We all know about letting Tom Brady go. Now Bill Belichick isn't there either. People are frustrated and they want to see them win football games, and they also want to see them make good decisions. And so far during training camp and this early preseason, all the talk has been about not playing Drake Maye enough and the Matthew Judon situation. Having arguably your best player feel like he is not compensated right. I mean, that's just not where you want to be as an NFL franchise. And maybe they are right about Matthew Judon. Maybe he doesn't deserve a big pay raise. I get it. Why would you want to give him a lot of money when your team isn't very good anyway? The difference is, in the past, people would be on the Patriots side. Now I feel like more and more are on the side of Matthew Judon, although he might speak himself out of that. I feel like people are now turning on him. But when it comes to the Drake Maye situation, in that first preseason, all the talk was about how Drake Maye only had 3 snaps playing that entire football game. That's not enough in most people's eyes for the future of your franchise. I mean, what do you have to lose playing Drake Maye in an early preseason game? Oh, the backup offensive line isn't good enough? Then play him with the real offensive line. Have him, I don't know, start the game. I'm just curious to see how long they can pull this off without starting Drake Maye. I mean, are we going to go a whole half of a season without Drake Maye starting a football game? I mean, could you even imagine what would happen if we went an entire season with Drake Maye not having the starting job? I mean, that would just be bonkers on another level. I also just see absolutely no upside starting Jacoby Brissett. I mean, let's say, and I know it's not going to happen, but let's say that the Patriots are halfway decent and they're winning more football games than expected, and then all of a sudden Drake Maye is playing and they start to lose a lot of football games. That's not something you want to put on the kid either. I mean, you want Drake Maye to be your starting quarterback from beginning to end. I think a rookie deserves a complete season. I don't understand the sit 3 games, sit 4 games, sit 8 games. I mean, let's say he sits the first 8 games and the Patriots win 5 of them, and then they bring in Drake Maye and he only wins like 1 of the final games. I mean, that would be a confidence breaker for a young quarterback. And the big question is, are the Patriots waiting for the team to change to play Drake Maye, or are they waiting for Drake Maye to change the team? Because I think people believe that it should be the other way around, that a young quarterback comes in and then all of a sudden your future looks bright. That's how we view that position. We view it, rightfully or wrongfully, as the most important position in football, that those players come out of nowhere and then all of a sudden your team is great. And look at the history of football. It's filled with that. Peyton Manning, nobody was talking about the Indianapolis Colts all that much until Peyton Manning came out of nowhere and turned that franchise into one of the most consistent teams. And we're talking about the New England Patriots, who had the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady. It's interesting to point out that as a rookie, Drew Bledsoe, who was a number 1 overall pick for the New England Patriots, played in 12 games as a rookie. Now that feels different because back then that team was coached by Bill Parcells, someone who was viewed as a great head coach who knew what they were doing. Why people have doubts right now is because Jerod Mayo is a rookie head coach who is going to be forever linked to this quarterback. So any decision he makes about this player is going to be scrutinized. And maybe he'll end up being right here. Maybe week 4, Drake Maye comes in and lights the world on fire, and that's when he's going to be ready. My belief when it comes to quarterbacks is if you draft someone that high at number 3 overall, you're already telling the world that that man should be your starting quarterback. Like, I don't even understand why we go through this whole song and dance of a coach naming the quarterback when he drafts a player that high. It's quite simple. The past has been very bleak for you recently. That's why you have the number 3 overall pick. Now the future is really bright, and it should all be about the development of that one player. That's why I love what's happening in Chicago with Caleb Williams. He is the guy. There's no doubt. They've given him wide receivers. They have talent. Now I know there's skyrocket expectations that he might not be able to reach. I mean, talking about the Bears like they're a real legitimate playoff contender feels like a risky proposition to me, but I still love the fact that the Bears are just going all in on Caleb Williams because that's how they felt about him when they drafted him number 1 overall. And the Patriots need to start feeling that way about Drake Maye because, like it or not, this is your future, is this guy. You already messed up Mac Jones. He was a lower round draft pick. Now this is the number 3 overall pick. It's time to develop him into a superstar, and that's okay if he has a rough first season. There are zero expectations on the New England Patriots. You hear some people say they could win 7 games. You hear others say that they're going to be a 2 to 3 win team. I mean, some people think they're terrible. I understand that so many people out there think that their defense is going to be just as good without Bill Belichick because they're going to have Christian Gonzalez back. They're going to have Matthew Judon, presumably. They're going to have a decent enough defense, I think. It's all going to come down to the offense. I mean, the last few seasons, they haven't averaged 20 points per game. That's all Drake Maye really has to do, is he has to get the offense to a place where you can at least watch them and think, wow, this is an entertaining product to watch. He doesn't have to win games. He just has to be decent enough early on. My plan, and I really do hope this ends up happening, I don't want to see Jacoby Brissett start in a single game for the New England Patriots, even though it feels like it's inevitable. What I think should happen is you should let Drake Maye have an entire rookie season, see what you have in him, see if he can have a really good season with the likes of Kendrick Bourne and these other young wide receivers you have on the team. And if he can be a guy who can throw 25 touchdowns with this group, just imagine what you could do if you spend real money next offseason and get him a legitimate number 1 wide receiver. Like, let's say Drake Maye has a season where the Patriots win 6 games, but he has close to 30 touchdowns. People would go bonkers. That's all they want. It matters more about the development of this player than it does about this team. If the Patriots win 8 games this season, but Drake Maye by the end of it does not feel like the legitimate starting quarterback heading into next season, people are going to be down on this franchise. I was saying this about Mac Jones the entire time. I don't care if the Patriots win football games. I want to see this guy develop and become a franchise quarterback. It's about the development of that player, getting him to a place where he can be consistent week in and week out, getting him to be a guy who can consistently throw 30 to 35 touchdown passes a season. Because when you have one of those guys, one of those consistent Pro Bowl guys, he can take your team to the next level. We're seeing it with the likes of Lamar Jackson. We're seeing it with the likes of Patrick Mahomes. Those guys elevate their teams. And if you could ever get that again with Drake Maye, you would be one of the premier NFL franchises once again. That's what the Patriots should be after, not winning more games with Jacoby Brissett. I really hope this isn't about winning more games, because I could care less the amount of wins the Patriots have this season. What I want is by the end of this season to go, wow, this Drake Maye kid is the real deal, and by next season, I'm going to look at the team differently if that's how I view Drake Maye. I really hope all the talk about him has been overblown and that he is going to win this starting job, because I do believe that's important. The sooner we can get to Drake Maye being the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots, the better, because there really is no future right now without him. The future doesn't begin until Drake Maye takes the field. That's the deal you make when you take a quarterback this high. The future of your franchise is in the balance here. Make the right decision, and maybe the Patriots are making the right decision. I'm not watching Drake Maye practice. Maybe he shouldn't start week 1. Maybe he is doing really badly, but this is going to get a lot worse if we're in week 8 of the NFL season and the Patriots are putrid and they're still not starting Drake Maye. That is going to be viewed as unacceptable, and I will be one of those people baffled by that decision. I hope we never get there. I hope we don't have to see Jacoby Brissett start more than 3 games, because that would be worst case scenario for the Patriots, to have fans lose that much interest in the team that early on in the season, because fans will watch the first game no matter what. But if week 4 it's still Jacoby Brissett, people are going to start to turn the television off. It's all about Drake Maye. That's who they want to see play the position of quarterback. You can have all the Joe Milton and Bailey Zappi talk you want. I have no interest in those players. The Patriots drafted Drake Maye with the 3rd overall pick in the NFL draft. That's who I care about. That's who matters moving forward. The next 3 years is about getting that guy to becoming one of the best quarterbacks quarterbacks in the NFL, and the clock really does start now, and I hope the Patriots aren't wasting any time by sitting the young quarterback. It all goes down to this. If you feel like you have the right head coach in Drake Maye and you have the right quarterback in Drake Maye, then just let it happen. Let the two of them develop and grow with each other at the same pace. Drake Maye's entire coaching career might come down to, is Drake Maye a good NFL quarterback? And if he isn't, Drake Maye is likely going to be out of the job. So there's a lot of pressure there. Just start the kid and let us see who Drake Maye is as the future quarterback of the New England Patriots. The last thing I'll say is it's okay if the kid fails. It's okay if the kid has 15 interceptions his rookie season. You have faith in him. You drafted him with the 3rd overall pick. At some point, the hope is he's going to get it. Josh Allen had a few rough seasons there with the Buffalo Bills, especially his rookie season, and then he started to get better, and now he's Josh Allen. That's how you should treat these young quarterbacks. Put them out there, let them go through the tough times, and then you'll be rewarded with the playoff appearances. Thanks for listening to this edition of Head to Head. I'm Cam McKinney, and there'll be a new episode of the podcast every Monday on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so please rate, review, and subscribe.